Okay, I'm going to show another little experiment to demonstrate chemical reactions here. So sticking on the vitamin C tablet experiments, I'm going to show you another simple little experiment. However, this time it uses one of these. Now, most people watching this video will know what this is. It's an old film canister before we had digital cameras. However, pupils, generally speaking nowadays, don't have a clue what these are or what they're used for. But if you can get hold of these, maybe lying in a drawer at home and bring them in, they're great for this experiment. However, even if you don't have them, you can buy them on Amazon and they're relatively cheap to buy. They're great because they make a really tight fitting lid, and we're going to do a little experiment in them using the vitamin C tablets. We're going to build up the carbon dioxide pressure, and it makes a small little bang which sends the canister up into the air. Pupils really like this experiment, but I should just say a few words of caution here. This experiment can be done safely, but you've just got to be a bit careful with it. It does build up quite a lot of pressure in the canister, and when it does go off, it does go off very quickly. So it's important to tell the pupils not to obviously put their heads above the canister. You'd have to have on safety goggles for this one in case a canister does fly in the direction of a pupil, hopefully not, but just to take some safety precautions. And obviously just explain to the pupils what I've just explained on the video, that this can be a little bit dangerous, and just to watch what they're doing, and when they've set it up, just to stand back from it and make sure nobody goes round about the experiment. And if you do all those sensible things, then it should go fine. I'm going to show you how it works here, and you can judge for yourself whether it's something you would want to do within your primary class. To do this experiment, it's very, very simple to set up. You just need one of these film canisters and put a small amount of water in the bottom. By a small amount, all I mean is really up to about that depth. You don't want to fill it up too high, and there's a temptation to do that, but don't, because you want the pressure of the gas to build up, which then obviously takes the lid off and it pops up. So simply by putting roughly a quarter of the way up, just with cold water, into the canister like so. It's exactly the same experiment as we've done before, so I won't go through all the chemical changes again that happen, but the main one here we want to focus on is a gas has been given off, and it's that carbon dioxide again that's going to build up the pressure and take the lid off. Now, I've got just one whole vitamin C tablet here. I'm using one whole one because I want this to work quite quickly, but if you were doing this in a class, half the vitamin C tablet will work absolutely fine. It might take a little bit longer to work, but it will work. But like I say, just to make this go quite quickly, I'm just going to use a whole tablet here. I'm simply going to put it in. You'll hear the fizzing. I'm going to quickly put on the lid, give it a little shake, and put it on the end of the bench there, and you can just watch the result. So here we go, in it goes, and tightly on with the lid. You've got a bit of time to do that and give it a shake, and then lay it down. Key point here is to step away from it and make sure nobody else is going around it. So you might want to do this just as a demonstration rather than have every primary pupil try and do this, because as you can imagine, you're going to get several of them going off at any one time, which could cause a bit of commotion in the primary class, I would imagine. So the demonstration there is quite a dramatic way to show a chemical reaction. The key point really to emphasise to the pupils is that it's the build-up of the gas, the pressure within the container, which causes it the lid to come off and for it to go up into the air, to fire up in the air. And that carbon dioxide's come from the chemical reaction between the vitamin C tablet and the water. So if you try and get that across to the pupils when you're explaining it, when they're doing it, perhaps that experiment. And it's a good little example to tie in with the real life examples, for instance how rockets work, pressure and gases coming out and putting the rocket up into the sky. So you can tie it in with things like that, and the pupils might then realise why they're being asked to learn this work about chemical reactions, and a real life example you can give from that. So quite a simple little experiment. Like I say, if done safely, the pupils will certainly remember this and hopefully get a much better understanding of chemical reactions from it.